They are the shoes that you, your parents, maybe even your grandparents have all worn at some point, and they have ties to the Hoosier State. Brad Brown shows us how one IU professor is sharing the story of Chucks in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
It remains one of the most well-known brands in the world, largely unchanged for more than 100 years, and a history that is very much a Hoosier thing.
He really was not a pro star at all. He was a shoe salesman.
IU physiology professor David Matlack will be telling some stories about Chuck Taylor this Sunday at the Indiana History Center. Taylor was born and raised in Brown County, a varsity star at Columbus High School. Basketball as we know it now may not have ever been a thing without Taylor's handiwork.
He sold the sport. It was still a fairly new sport. And, towards by the 50s, he's packing high school gymnasiums, which here in Indiana are huge, right? 6,000 to 8,000 people for this show, introducing what he called the fundamentals of basketball.
The shoes would become known as Chucks. They had nearly 80% of the market in the 60s. Taylor was the pitchman, but it was more than just the shoes. The Converse Basketball Yearbook was one of the sport's preeminent publications for more than 60 years.
It's brilliant, it's brilliant. And so by the 50s, it says more coaches specify Converse All-Stars, more players wear. And that was true by the 50s.
As the Converse All-Stars fell out of style on the basketball court, they became something of a fashion icon everywhere else. By the late 70s, Chucks were cool in nearly every corner of pop culture.
It was what the cool kids were wearing.
Wow.
But what the cool kids wear is a fad, right? So fads kind of fade. And then 1991, Kurt Cobain with Nirvana walks on stage wearing a pair of white Chucks. And the Seattle grunge look sweeps the nation. Suddenly, Chucks are all the rage again. And then it faded, and now Chucks are all the rage again.
Nearly 1 billion pairs sold. Taylor's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And the shoes? It seems like they'll be around forever.
Hoosier had never had a sport where we could all suddenly come together and share in that experience and forge that identity.
The Man Who Made the Shoe is presented by Storytelling Arts of Indiana. Tickets for Sunday's event are available for in-person or virtual viewing. It's at 4 o'clock at the Indiana History Center downtown. For more information, go to storytellingarts.org. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.